Alrighty, we're live.
What's going on, everybody?
How's everybody doing tonight? This is Poor Therapy, and I am B Red,
And I am Postman.
and we're just here to give you poor therapy, talk about opinions, personal problems,
Cheap advice.
cheap advice, and online confessions and Reddit posts and whatnot, and just a vibe and just chill and whatnot. But do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Out of the 7 deadly sins, which one do you think?
All right, first I gotta look up the 7 deadly sins. So give me a second,
Okay.
because I don't remember them all.
Door came open.
It's a ghost.
Ooh.
Time out.
So, out of the 7
Do you know them all?
deadly sins, off the top of my head, let me see. We got wrath. We got pride, gluttony, lust.
All right, give me a second. I'm googling it.
Greed.
Um,
Oh, one more, or two more. What am I missing?
all right, so we have pride,
Yeah,
greed,
yeah,
wrath,
yeah,
envy,
yeah. Envy. Yeah,
lust, gluttony, and sloth.
and sloth. Yeah.
All right. Out of so I got to pick one.
Yeah.
All right. So out of those 7 deadly sins, what does sloth exactly
Like laziness.
mean? And I got to pick one.
Which one do you think you fall under the most? Like, which one are you guilty of the most?
I would say the one that I'm guilty the most. I would probably say gluttony.
Glutton? Really?
Yes. Because like at nights, for some reason, I'll just eat, and eat, and I have to stop myself. I have to go to bed. So, but then there is a little bit of like sloth mixed in. But sometimes I'll get into a mood, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that. I just don't feel like it. So I would say that's mine. So what is yours?
Either pride or wrath.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now why do you say pride and wrath?
Well, wrath, because I can get quite angry sometimes. I mean, I'm a pretty chill guy nowadays, but I used to be very guilty of being wrathful and having anger management issues and the such. And then pride, because I'm just a proud man.
Okay.
I think it's very apparent that I'm guilty of that. I have high morals and expectations for myself and the ones closest to me.
Well, I mean that's a good thing. So it's good to have high expectations of your family members and whatnot.
Right, but anything taken to an extreme is, well, an extreme.
Yeah. All right. So I did have a whole thing about TikTok being banned, but now the whole Biden administration said that they're not going to ban it and that they're going to let Trump decide if they're going to ban it. Obviously, he's not going to ban it because he's trying to save it. And, I'm all for it. I actually like TikTok because I don't watch the news or anything like that.
You like that brain rot?
I don't know if it's that. I would say that for some reason, I feel like TikTok is more informative for me than the rest of the apps and whatnot. Like when I get on Facebook, all I see is like memes and stuff like that. I don't really see anything that's like informative, other than if like, because I'm in a bunch of like science and stuff groups. If I see like something pop up on one of them, I'll read it and whatnot. But other than that, that's all That's basically it.
Do you believe everything presented to you through TikTok?
No, I do not. I usually research what I see, unless I feel like it's something that's like real, but that's very rare. But
So how would you feel if TikTok got banned? I think I'd be like, woo! But then there's other things that are just like it, like YouTube Shorts.
Well, did you hear what happened? What everybody was doing?
No.
All right, so everybody thought TikTok was going to be banned Sunday,
Okay.
and millions of Americans were signing up for Red Note. Do you know what Red Note is?
No.
Red Note is the Chinese version of TikTok. Everything is in Chinese though, so you can't unless you know Chinese, you can't read it. But because of all the Americans and whatnot joining it, they started putting out videos in English and stuff. So it was kind of funny because, Congress wanted to ban it because it was a national security thing. And then all of a sudden, all these Americans are actually joining the Chinese version of it and just signing over whatever.
You know what I think that means?
What does that mean?
I think that means that there are a lot of idiots out there.
Yeah, but also, I mean, it could be that, in my viewpoint, I don't know how your viewpoint is, but in my viewpoint, the American standard has declined. And by what I mean is you go out and you look around in our cities and our tourist areas, and they're pretty trashy. There's trash everywhere. Our bridges, our buildings are kind of falling apart. They're not being kept up. Everything's just kind of feeling like it's kind of ran down. And just based on what I've read and whatnot, there's not a lot of hope for the younger generations and stuff based on opportunity and whatnot. I mean, I don't think my kids are going to be able to buy a house when they get to that age.
All right, so you're covering a lot of different things here.
But all that is in the scope of how people are feeling and fed up and everything because...
But you're so desperate and thirsty for your brain rot that you go out of your way to log into a Chinese version of the app.
Well, that's their way of just telling the American government F you.
Yeah, but what's the point? Why? What?
Just so they can feel that sense of justice, I guess. I thought about doing it, but then I was like, nah, I'm not signing on to that because you can't read any of the terms of service or nothing.
I think that just boils down to being a rebellious brat.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I mean, in a way.
Oh no, the government's going to take your toys away.
Well, I will say this administration has done nothing other than Biden has actually done something. He banned red dye number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the longest time, I used to think people were kind of crazy when they was oh, the dyes are causing cancer and everything.
Yeah.
And then it was a year and a half ago, I think, I went down this rabbit hole, and it was all about these dyes and how they're linked to high cancer rates and everything.
Yeah.
And then I went onto some website and it was showing how the FDA and all the food companies and stuff were trying to hush money, all the cancer links and stuff like that. And I was like, there might be something to it. And then over time, I've slowly seen, just the uptick in cancer rates and everything. And it makes you wonder, what's in our food. And definitely the processed stuff is probably a good indicator, that it causes cancer. What do you think?
I think we are jumping around quite a lot. I kind of want to roll it back to.
All right, we'll roll it back.
No. Let me. Okay, so what do you want me to talk about right now? About the dye and cancer?
No. Let's go back to the people joining the Red Note thing? Is that where you want to start?
Well, I mean, I already gave my opinion on that. I think, you're just being a rebellious brat, and you need your brain rot that much. I mean, it's like an addict, and but beyond that, you talked about like the standard of living in America has gone down quite a lot, and I, well, for you don't hate me here.
I'm not.
But you haven't exactly gone out and seen America.
Well,
Your perception is that of local around here.
well, no, we've all right. So, me and Carmen's been looking around on like videos and stuff because we're wanting to travel a little more, and we've been like looking up like destinations and stuff, like mostly in America because it's easier to travel in America
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. And the other night we watched like an hour-long video of like 100 different places, and out of those 100 different places, maybe 5 to 10 of them were we might go there. All the rest were kind of crap.
Well, you have your own standards as a person of where you're
Yes,
going to go.
I get that.
But then I think you gotta have realistic expectations. Like, do you expect a city like Pittsburgh? I'm just throwing this out there. No offense toward Pittsburgh, but do you expect a city like Pittsburgh to be spotless and clean all the time? I mean, come on. There's however many people that live there, and then everything that comes along with that, all the trash that those people generate and such. But then you got, the more extremes like Seattle, like I think I mentioned this before, Seattle has like gone downhill massively in the past like 10 years. And like to, not even just the homeless, but like just the quality of life there has gone downhill that it's like becoming the
Kind of like the
cesspool of America. Yeah, that or Portland. That's just my own gripe. I hate Portland. But yeah, but then there are places out there that I think are still very beautiful, very tourist friendly, and
keep talking. I'm turning this fan off.
Okay, and are well kept. Like I mean, come on, we got one local, the Skyline Drive. And the Appalachian Trail and mountains and such. I think that those are very beautiful, very well kept. The river around here is very well kept.
Continue.
And then, these are standards of living in America, but then, you got the rest of the world too. Places like comparing America to other places. Like, we're still probably number one. Like, you got places like India.
I don't know. Have you seen like videos of Japan and stuff?
Japan. That's why I hesitated. Japan's up there, man.
Well, and there's God, what is that place called? Shanghai or something like that in China. Everything like kind of looks like futuristic. They got like trains going through buildings and stuff like that.
Well, okay, but that's what you get to see, right? So this is a great example. I was deployed to where was I deployed to? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and United Arab. I can't think of it now. I feel so disrespectful. United Arab Emirates or Emirates.
Okay.
And so, Dubai is regarded as the richest city in the world. And it's got some of the most beautiful architecture that you could possibly imagine. It has a 6-star hotel, which doesn't even exist on the spectrum because it only goes up to 5. And I mean, and that's just like, that's its selling points, right?
Yeah.
But then you go there and the undercity is disgusting. I mean, people are just shitting on the streets. Like, I mean, it's just the dirtiest place I've ever been. But then you go into the building, spotless, beautiful, right? But outside
bad, inside good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but then they have like certain like squares, like city squares and stuff that are like spotless. But then, like right outside those areas, because those areas are meant for not only the tourists, but then the rich people that live there. Because it's one of the richest cities in the world, a lot of the richest people live there, and so they keep it clean for those reasons. But the outside city, the undercity, uh, they don't care about. So it's just filthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you was there, did you see any crime? Because I think crime there is like, pretty. Uh,
Well, what's your definition of crime? Because they have different laws than we do, and so for
yeah, like if you steal, I think like don't you get like your hand chopped off?
I mean,
Something.
I don't know
I could be wrong. Don't.
but they have different laws and such than we do. But for just shooting from the hip, we have a lot of traffic laws that they do not have. Like
Okay.
they don't chain their cargo down. They don't really care about stoplights, like all that stuff, merging lanes, stuff like that. They will run you off the road. They do not care. No.
Okay. I forget where I was going with what I was saying, but I don't know. I just it doesn't seem, and like I said, it could just be my viewpoint, and maybe I've just been watching the wrong algorithm or whatever. But it doesn't seem like America is as good as it once was, if that makes sense. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Other than the economy,
Okay.
what is so bad about America? Is it the people? Is it?
Well, you want my viewpoint? All right. So for my viewpoint, for one, everything just seems to be for profit. Like it doesn't matter what it is.
Hang on. Let me interrupt you here.
Okay, go ahead.
Give me an era of America that you think was peak.
Oh, okay. It's like a time frame of when it was
Like 70s, 80s.
Oh, well, I wasn't alive in the 70s or
Well, no,
80s.
that doesn't matter. When do you think that in America's lifetime was peak? A lot of people argue like the 50s and 60s, right? Right after World War II, because you got to see like a lot of growth and what is it, the baby boomers and stuff like that, right? And so a lot of people will regard that with high praise. But is it really that much better than today's standards? Like, yeah, maybe the quality of living will be a little different, but what's changed really? Like, cost of living's gone up, obviously, but I mean that isn't that expected to happen? Is that isn't inflation inevitable? And if you start going on some communist shit, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave right now.
I'm not going on any communist stuff, but well, no. The problem with inflation right now is our government just keeps throwing out money like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then the taxpayers, which is you, me, everybody else, end up having to pay that back through trust loans and bonds and all that other crap.
Yeah, but wasn't that happening in the 50s and 60s anyways?
No, the government spending and everything was pretty much, equal to our GDP and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I think in taxes, we bring in like $4 trillion or something like that every year. We spend like 6 or 7, so we're still not keeping up with that. So we're still going in debt. And what makes everything worse now is we don't have oil to back our dollar, so nothing's backing our currency.
It's not entirely true.
Gold. What do you think? No, we don't have enough gold to back our currency, unless we go to space and start pulling in some gold asteroids or something like that. There's no way.
Right, but ultimately, so that's a big thing is that the dollar is not backed up by the gold bullion anymore. I don't know when that change happened. It was within the last 10 years, I think.
No, that was in the 70s, I think. Google it just in case.
Okay, well, you talk while I Google.
But yeah, our currency isn't backed by anything because Saudi Arabia, just recently in 2022, somewhere in there, or 23, they stopped using our currency as their backup thing. Because if anybody wanted to buy oil and gas, they would have to use the American dollar. And now that's not that. You can use whatever currency you have because they no longer back our currency as the petrodollar or whatever you want to call it.
1971.
I thought I was right. I said it was the 70s, 1971. Because our government freaked out when they seen that our gold supplies wasn't keeping up with our money. And then they went to the petrodollar because everybody needs gas and oil. So then they was like, well, you know what? We'll strike a deal with Saudi Arabia and get them to make our currency the currency they use to sell gas and oil. And then, like I said, in 2022, 23, somewhere in there, they stopped it. So our currency isn't backed by anything. It's just debt. So, and the whole BRICS nations thing, they're going back to having, resources, whatever it is, copper, gold, silver, stuff that you get from Earth has like a trading thing again.
Would you consider yourself a political person?
No, I just like to stay up to date on everything for some reason, and I don't know why. It's just something in me that, and I'm like that with like everything across the board, like even with like science and physics, and I just like, I don't know what you would call that. What is that? Just an up to date person,
I suppose.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know or have known quite a few political people.
All right, we got a comment.
Oh,
This person, GZD Dr. Forev or whatever, he said 1990 to 1991 was one of the better times because in 1992 it was when Bill Clinton signed the NAFTA bill, which removed tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico, which eventually led to the big corps exporting jobs for cheap labor. You going on the comments?
I am.
So yeah, so this guy thinks that the 1990s were better times. Which I was gonna say that the 1990s was probably some of the best years for America. It seems, like I said, it just seems like everything's corrupt. Everything is for profit. I mean, you gotta fight everybody on everything. Our foods, like I said, have poison in them. You got to fight with the insurance companies to be able to get what you need. And it just, I don't know. I don't see any positives in it. That's why I'm hoping, I'm not a big political person, but I am hoping that Trump comes in and just changes everything. So Vivek, RFK, Elon, whatnot. What?
Just wondering how you got that comment, and I don't.
It pops up on the Streamlab things. It won't pop up on that.
Oh, that's a Twitch comment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because this is bundled together.
But my original where I was going with political people irritate me. Because it's like, do you really think like you know more than whoever's in charge right now? It's like, if you do,
I don't know. There's some cabinet members in Biden's administration that I think I might have up on.
But so
a lot of them I think are just there for like the look.
I especially hate political people who like don't vote. Yeah,
like
that's so irritating. But yeah, I don't know. It's just whenever it comes to politics, it's like I don't have. I am aware that my brain is not big enough to handle that kind of thought process. There's a song by Post Malone, "Congratulations," right?
Okay.
And in that song, there's a line he says, "How can I make sense when I got millions on my mind?" Whether he's talking about people or money, that line goes hard.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how can you make sense with that much on your mind?
So Mr. Dark 086 said, I would argue one of the biggest issues we're facing in the U.S. is that competency crisis. We've allowed standards to slip majorly on basic things in the name of kindness. It's a kindness at the start, but it causes disastrous effects downstream. Yeah, I would agree with that. Give me a minute. Let me shut this door.
All right.
I feel like cool breeze. Continue what you were saying.
Yeah, I just don't like political people. No, what I was saying was that I know I'm not smart enough for that kind of thought process. If I ever did become famous or if I became rich, I really don't know like how I would react, how I would handle it. I like to think that I would be very mature about it. And like for one, if I came into a lot of money, right? Like talking millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like I hope and think that I would be very mature with how I acted with it. But I mean, I don't know. People can go crazy over the smallest of things.
Yeah, I've actually thought about that a lot. Like, what would happen if I came into a lot of money? And oh my God, give me 1 second. I hate this thing. I'm gonna put something in front of this thing.
All right.
Remind me what we're talking about. Tell them the problem we're having. There we go. Sorry about that, people. All right. So yeah, I've actually thought about this a lot. If I came into a lot of money or whatever, and I don't think I would tell anybody except for a few close people I trust, and I would still basically live the life I live, except for I would throw in like vacations here and there. But overall, I would pretty much, I don't think I would move from where I'm at.
Oh, I would. I have dreams and aspirations. Like I have a dream house I want to build. Where I live now is not where I want to spend the rest of my life. I have dream cars that I would love to own.
But yeah, I got, stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't completely like relocate to somewhere else. Like, all right, so hypothetically, one of your great granddads pass away, and you get like $5 million in the bank for inheritance. What's the first thing you do?
The first thing I do?
Yeah. I'd pay off my house.
Yeah, I mean, I'd pay off all my debt. I'd probably take care of a lot of like medical stuff. Like I'd get my teeth taken care of, the wife's teeth taken care of.
Okay.
I don't know that she would want any type of surgery, but anything that she wanted, like if she wanted lipo, I don't know if I would want lipo. Maybe a gastric bypass. Stuff like that. And then, I mean, I would have to tell somebody because I would be leaving. I couldn't just be like peace and then disappear and not tell anybody what's going on.
I mean, there would definitely be like signs that I've came into money because like I'd pay off my house. I would get 2 vehicles, a good truck, and then
I'd invest a lot. I'd try to be smart about what I invested in, but I mean, that's always.
I would just put it in an index fund. That's a simple way. Put it in like the top 500 or whatever and just forget about it. But yeah, people would definitely eventually find out because I mean, they'd ride by and see like 5 new buildings or something in my backyard. But that is like kind of a cool thing to.
I was reading comments.
Oh, you're reading them too?
Yeah.
All right, my bad.
So we got some Reddit posts here, guys.
All right.
Halfway through the podcast, and now we'll just get to them. So I sent you one that I kind of want to talk about. I think it's kind of crazy. My nudes were turned into a children's game. Now I'm gonna summarize.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put. Go ahead.
So these people, this man and woman, they dated for a few years. During the relationship, the woman sent nudes, right?
Yeah.
And well, apparently while they were dating, and then after they were dating, and they broke up on good terms, right? They didn't like hate each other or whatever. The dude turned them into trading cards, like with powers and like symbols and stuff on them, and proceeded to, with his immediate best friends, make a game out of them. And then, so a few years go by, she finds out by external means, goes back to him, and apparently he's traded with up to 40 some people these cards that he's made out of her nudes.
So is there like some nude card game that's popped up? Like, are they just trading nudes?
Yeah. But it's in the form of a trading card.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like Blue Ice Dragon. And
yeah. Dark Magician.
All right.
Karibo.
That's an interesting. And I don't know how the laws are with that. I don't know if
so apparently so you got like kind of a couple options. You got hate porn or hate corn, my bad. And then non-sensual distribution of pornography. And so I guess it's not hate corn, or it doesn't fall under those like guidelines.
Yeah.
But it could be non-sensual distribution. And that's just awful, I think, to do.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't imagine doing that to somebody.
That would be weird though. Like I sent a bunch of nude pictures, and then a couple years later, some guy's like, "Look at this trading card I got."
And apparently these dudes just keep them in their wallet and stuff like that. And like, yeah,
that is.
But this woman has gone through like she's attempted suicide a couple times, and she's like going to therapy. And so, what advice would you give this woman?
Well, he's already traded your nudes to 40 other people. I mean, if moving away from that location, if you're able to do that, I would do that. And because I mean, there's really that's a tricky.
You would uproot your life? Be like, nah, got to start over.
Well, I'm trying to put myself in like a woman's standpoint. For me, I wouldn't care. I mean, I'm just like, all right, well, whatever. I would just block it out and just continue with my life. Women are way more emotional, and I know they are. I mean, that's a fact.
Just throwing that out there, ladies.
That's a fact. So I don't think, the women can just ignore it. Well, what would you say to her? What kind of advice would you give if a girl had her nudes? I mean, obviously that happens more than just this girl. So, because I remember in high school it used to happen all the time.
I would definitely seek some type of legal course.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to get your nudes from 40 plus different guys?
Well, I think at that point, like, it's out of your control. But I would want to see the original recipient like burnt to the stake.
Okay.
Jail or prison time or give me money or something like that.
I would do the money thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Because, I mean, he's basically trading her. I don't know how you would frame that exactly. Like art, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how you would.
well, I mean, at that point, you're, sharing like personal stuff. And I don't know. That would be hard. I wouldn't tell them to like uproot their life though. Maybe because apparently these are people that like are within her work circle.
Yeah.
Like they're all within in her
Ooh.
career field. So I would definitely be like, you need to get a different job.
Well, if she's got to get a different job, she might as well just move. You might as well just get out of there. Start your life somewhere else. And this is a valuable lesson. Don't send nudes.
Yeah.
If you do, make sure you're married. That way, you got at least some what's the word I'm looking for? Collateral. If he takes your nudes, you take the house or something. But God, that does suck.
Yeah.
I would hate to be in that position. Yeah. My advice to this lady is, if you can, try to get money out of it. If not, and you can't handle the emotional stress of your new trading cards getting traded, find another job and move. I mean, yeah, that's basically what I got to say. That's a hard
Change your name, change your hair color,
dye your hair.
Okay. You got anything?
Give me a second. I was not prepared. Or I was prepared. Oh, wait a minute. Before I read,
Okay.
I want to show you this.
All right, show me.
Give me a second. So, I just thought this was kind of cool. All right, let me share it. A second. Share. All right, this is SpaceX's spacecraft that blew up. That's pretty cool.
Are those shooting stars?
It's kind of neat. Looks like a bunch of shooting stars.
Look up, everybody! Look up! Look
So yeah,
up!
apparently Elon Musk's spaceship
Are those shooting
blew up
stars?
when it was doing a test flight.
What
Yeah, I mean it sucks, but we need.
Look up!
The other video I found was about the red dye getting banned,
Mm-hmm.
which I have something to say about that, but we'll get off this real quick.
Isn't like Yellow 5 another bad one?
I mean, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Biden did ban it, but he's given all the food makers until 2027 for them to either get rid of it or change the ingredient. So, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I get why you'd give them time, but that product is still going to be on the shelves until 2027 because, they're not going to just rip all the ones that have red dye 3 in it. So,
do you think it is the consumer's responsibility to manage what they intake, or that it is the company's responsibility?
I think it's a little bit of both. So, yeah, it's the consumer's responsibility. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't eat like a whole bag of Doritos in one sitting.
Like if you have such a big issue with red dye number 3, go out hunting, go forage.
Yeah, that's
get your own food, dude.
That or just eat something else. But I also think like because we've known for the last 30 years that it causes cancer. So I think like the company should have some type of responsibility to regulate and make healthier options for their consumers.
I mean, yeah, but then it's kind of the consumer's fault to keep buying it. You know, like boycott is a thing.
Yeah, but there's a lot of dumb people out there like me that want a bag of Doritos. So, like I said, I am glad they, banned it. I think other dyes should be banned along with some other chemicals that are in certain stuff. I can't really say it because I don't want to get no crap on me or whatever. But and I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole. We'll go down that rabbit hole another time when something pops up. But it is a good thing that red dye number 3 got banned. Hopefully, in this administration, we can see a bunch more, different stuff get banned and get a little healthier. And hopefully, in the future, America overall will be better. But my bad.
So, do you think it's better for the government to basically So, is it the government's responsibility to dictate what we can and cannot consume?
All right, now that is a good one.
And the short and long answer is yes, because drugs exist.
Yes. And also no, because I don't want the government to have too much power, because just like anything, if the government has power over anything, they're never going to let that go. Like you'll die before they lose that power.
Right, but the government has power over everything.
But I do think for the government and like the FDA and everything, I do think they should have a higher standard and not let, all these dyes and whatnot that we've known for, I've heard about it for years and years and years that, they cause cancer and this and that. And I think that for the FDA has a government agency that regulates all the food companies and everything else, I think they should have a higher standard. But the bad thing is corruption, because then you get lobbyists of this or lobbyists of that. They pay this person, pay that person. Oh, yeah, we'll let that through. And that's one thing I hope Trump gets rid of is lobbyists. And that's where it kind of gets onto the whole communist thing. Because if you don't have lobbyists for this or for that, there are good things that might get overlooked. And that's the kind of slippery slope. But I would say like 80% lobbyists are just bad. They just want to get this in there to make a little bit of money for that. And it's no good for anybody. It just ends up, hurting the American people, like the pill epidemic that we had, yeah, so I'm just hoping that this administration, gets a little better. But let me find this Reddit post while you talk.
What am I supposed to talk about?
You got anything else?
I'm kind of done talking about politics.
Right, we can stop talking about politics.
Okay, I got a Reddit post right here.
So, do you? Yes, sir. Is that?
Yeah. What all you got open?
I don't know. It's just
What's in- Bro.
oh, it was a damn ad for Reddit. God, I couldn't figure it out. All right, my bad, guys. Let me go back.
Which one are you wanting? Did you send it to me?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
I don't want to be the responsible Philia daughter anymore.
All right, yeah. So this is a problem that a female had with her parents. Both of her parents were kind of disabled, so she had to kind of take care of them. And the thing is she has two brothers, but one brother lives in another state, and the other brother just doesn't want to like kind of help out and whatnot. And she, she has to take care of her mom and dad, and financially as well. And she's just kind of tired of it. And I thought that probably happens to a crap ton of people, especially I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna happen to me when my parents get older. And I thought that's probably something a lot of people can kind of relate to. And is it getting smoky in here?
It is getting smoky in here.
I thought so. All right, just keep an eye out. But that's a problem that a lot of people can probably relate to. And I was trying to think of some advice or something to give this person. But it's a hard one because if your parents are disabled and they can't work, one might get a disability check, but then you're there to fill in to make sure your parents' power is on and they keep their house. That would be really stressful. Also trying to live your life and trying to have a life of your own. And I gotta say, if you're somebody that's going through that, I kind of got a lot of respect for somebody like that, because they're taking it upon themselves to not only deal with, all their problems, but also their parents, and they're taking care of their parents.
So this might be my pride kicking in.
All right, let's hear it.
But okay. So you're thinking about having to take care of your parents.
Yeah. So, based on that Reddit post, the parents are disabled and she has to financially take care of her parents and,
Physically take care of them too. Yeah. Okay. And you respect that.
In a way I do. Because, it's just a good moral, character trait type thing.
So from my standpoint, when I get older, I don't want to have my kids take care of me.
Okay.
And I would feel awful for having to ask my kids for anything. I think. I wouldn't want them to pay for my stuff. I wouldn't want them to physically take care of me, have to wipe me and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that.
And then, so with that point of view, would I take care of my parents? No, I would not.
Would you send them to a nursing home?
I would.
Okay. I don't know. I just feel all right, so is it still blowing more smoke?
Slowly.
All right, let me crack this door. Remind me what we're talking about.
We only got 10 minutes.
That's all right.
I would do everything I could to make sure that my parents are healthy and taken care of, but I would not be taking care of them. You know what I mean?
All right. So what was I talking about?
Taking care of parents.
All right. So yeah, I don't know if your parents is at that point and they're kind of on their deathbed or whatever, I would want my parents around me. Just if only I got to take care of them for 3-4 years before they pass, I'd be all right with that. Because by then I should, knock on wood and everything, I should have my life somewhat stable. Hopefully I get there. But I should have my life somewhat stable enough to where I can, take care of my parents and whatnot when they hit that age. Because you got to think, when you send them to a nursing home, yeah, they're there with other old people, but they're more than likely just sitting there all alone, just waiting to see if like their family member or something is gonna come, and their family member be like, "Yeah, I'll be there Monday." Monday comes and nobody shows up.
So what? Instead, I should put my life on hold and be at their every whim.
No, there's that pride I hear. No, you don't have to do that, but like, I get where you're coming from, but you also have to see like the humanity side of it.
Yeah, but I'm not as obsessed with my parents as you are.
Well, I'm not obsessed with my parents
You
either.
kind of are. I respect my parents. You obviously do as well. And I love my parents, but there is a limit.
I see what you're getting at, but I mean, like, I don't know. Just for me, like, I would take care of my parents, for a couple years until they pass away. Because then, I'd have that time. Because once they're gone, you're gonna wish, like, oh man, maybe I should have done that.
Maybe I should have been wiping their ass.
Well, not that. I would hire, aid person or whatever.
Well, then what do you mean by taking care of them?
All right, let me go back a little bit. I'd hire an aid person to come in and take care of them, but I would fill in like the rest of it. Like if they needed their power bill paid, I'd pay their power bill. If I'd be around more.
So you're willing to financially support them if they cannot actively financially support themselves.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is that a bad thing?
I mean, it's just currently you do not financially support them.
Well, no, because they're they're healthy. They got jobs. They can support themselves.
So once they became unhealthy,
Well, once they become unhealthy, and hopefully, that's 20, 30 years down the road, and, they're stable enough and it doesn't really, hurt me that much to be able to pay their electric bill here and there, or this or that. Yeah, I don't see any problem with it.
what if you had to pay all their bills and pay for the aid?
I mean, if I had the money, yeah. If not, I'd be getting my sisters in on it. I'd be like, hey, I need $200 from you. I need $200 from you. Let's make it happen.
As an only child, I don't have that luxury.
Well, yeah, that part is, And see that we also have different viewpoints on that because I have sisters and you were an only child.
Yeah.
So your viewpoint on something is totally different than my viewpoint.
Well, I mean, that's just,
That's everybody.
yeah, that's life experience.
So, yeah. But yeah, like I said, I would, try to take care of them in their final years or whatever. I definitely wouldn't put them in a nursing home because nursing homes are just sad. Have you ever went to a nursing home?
My wife worked at a nursing home.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put somebody through that.
I mean, I think that's better than being at home alone,
I'd rather be home alone, just like from my standpoint.
Okay. So you're at a point in your life to where you could die at any minute. Okay?
I got the Life Alert necklace.
You do? You got that?
I'll have one. I'm gonna have one.
But a lot of people are stubborn and don't have one. And so, okay, cool. You can be home alone, but then what happens if you fall?
Well, by then,
What happens if you sit down on the toilet and you can't get back up?
well, if I'm on the toilet, I got my phone on me, so I'll be able to call. I get what you're saying though, because the older people may not have that, but I think everybody by now would have a cell phone, other than like this current 70, 80-year-olds right now. But I get what you're saying. Hopefully, I have some type of device that will alert my loved ones. Me personally, when I get old, I'm going to have it written in stone. If I can't take care of myself, pull the plug. Let me go on to the next adventure. Let me see what's out there. Because I feel like if I can't take care of myself, and hopefully, I'm in like my late 90s, early 100s when this happens. But if I can't take care of myself, I do get like what you were saying. Like I don't want to be a burden to my kids and stuff. So I guess that is a little bit of pride. But yeah, pull the plug on me. I'm fine with it. We're all gonna eventually die, and yeah, that's basically it there. Give me a second. I do want to, or actually, you got my Reddit thing. Go to the Reddit.
All right.
There should be one more I sent.
I
think.
No.
Did I not send it?
Mm.
God. All right, never mind then. We'll do it on the next one. I forgot to send it. But yeah, guys, if you have an opinion or you want to talk to us about anything, or you need some poor advice, poor therapy, or you want to confess, make sure it's not, make sure you don't get yourself in trouble, because if you confess to murder or some other crime, I do have to report it.
Okay. Here's a hypothetical. What if I came to you and was like, I murdered somebody?
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about like on live, on air, whatever. Because if somebody says something, they're like, "Oh, I murdered this person." It's on air, and I have to report whatever was said and whatnot.
What if it was done in private?
If it was done in private, I'd have to question you a lot, and to see if it was actually real, and to see your state of mind at the time and your intentions.
Oh, whether you could justify me murdering somebody?
Only because your family and everything. But I forget what I was talking about before that. But yeah, if you want to talk to us, or you gotta confess or need poor therapy or whatever, all you gotta do is hit us up on our multiple social media sites. The notification will pop up on my phone. But yeah, hopefully, everybody has a good evening. Hopefully the fires in California get put out. I think I read something where they were like 64% put out, and they've burnt over like 12,000 structures. A lot of celebrity homes have been burnt down. The one thing I don't like, it's devastating. I get it. But there is way more news coverage over the California fires than there ever was over the North, South Carolina, Tennessee disaster. And the people in North and South Carolina and other parts of the Eastern Coast are still dealing with it, living in tents and, heating up with like tiny little stoves and stuff like that. Hopefully when Trump gets in office, he's already said that he's going to, send a bunch of stuff down there and to help them out, because you don't ever hear anything about them anymore. Because once the whole California thing happened and, a bunch of rich people's houses burnt down, it seems like it kind of overtook the news cycle. So, yeah, hopefully, everybody has a good night. Got anything you want to say?
Yeah. One more thing I want to talk about. So there was this Reddit post that I came across about the family name, the family line ending, and I found that kind of curious because here soon I'm going to be changing my name, and I'll be losing the last name. Now, granted, with you, that name will continue, and I'm sure we have other relatives that the name is going to continue on. But it is kind of crazy to think that whatever name I choose and the family that I set forward one day could end.
For me, so I thought about this when we found out that we were pregnant with my second kid. And I was like, I really want a boy, to continue the family line and this and that. And then I don't know when, but somewhere since we found out, and then once we had her, kind of lost that feeling because, all right, can you name your great granddad's name? And do you know who he is?
No.
All right, exactly. So in 100 years, 150 years, you, me, and everybody we know are going to be dead. And our grandkids, kids, won't know us. If you're rich and, you made some type of legacy, your name might survive another 300-400 years, maybe 5 if it's scientific. Other than that, you're going to be forgotten in the past. And when I think about that, the whole, family name type thing doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't. So that's my viewpoint on it. What do you think?
I don't know that I care about lineage.
What?
Lineage.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought you
not
talked
the game.
All right.
No, the actual term of lineage.
For people that don't know, that was the game I was highly addicted to.
Yeah.
It was a good game, but continue.
And so I guess I don't care if, like, I think it would be cool if my name ends up going for a couple hundred years. Like that, to me, that's quite the accomplishment.
Yeah.
But what if it ends in just like 2 generations? It's like
that's more likely what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that because ultimately I'm changing my name for my own like wants and desires. And so I guess it's like if
what are you changing it to? Or should you tell me after?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I hope and I think it would be cool if it goes on for quite some time, but I'm not all that worried about it if it does end. I think I don't know, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I kind of care about it. Because it's like, what is ultimately important? Is it what you leave behind? Is it like the person that you were?
So,
that changes person to person as to what's important to you.
Yeah. Generally, in the context, the only thing you're really going to have an effect in is your kids and their kids' life. Yeah, like I said, unless you make some scientific discovery or you do something that's crazy, like I don't know, building some underground city or Moon City or something like that, you're more than likely, like 99.99% of all humans are going to get left in the past.
Right, but the name goes on. Like I, as the individual, may be forgotten, but the name goes on.
But yeah, but there's other people out there with the last name Hensley.
I mean, yeah.
So even you're talking about like your what they mean by that is like the DNA strand that goes with that name. That's the main thing that people, their family line, like that's what people care about. And like I said, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna get left in the past, and I used to care about that, and then I started to really think about it, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, there could be an asteroid that hits the planet tomorrow, and then everything.
I guess, do I care about what I leave behind? And I think if you have kids and you take pride in your kids, then that answers the question that yes, you do care about what you leave behind. And so yeah, I mean, I guess I do care about lineage, and I do care about the mark that I'm going to leave in my family history. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be remembered as a deadbeat or
Just be a good parent. Everything else will work out. That's the simplest terms to say it. If you're a good parent, you tried your hardest, and you done what you could for your kids. I mean, that's pretty much it. Anything else?
I mean, if that's all you care about, then that's all you care about. But like, I don't know. Think like, if I could leave my kids a mansion, be like the Hensley Manor or something like that.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And like, if that stayed in the family forever,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. And then there again, that makes me think that like I care about what I leave behind.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm in a similar situation because, like, I plan on leaving all the junk I acquire to my offspring. So, but I'm just doing that just, I don't know. Would that be for, like, the family line thing, or would that be...
Well, so do you have anything that you value enough that you would want your kids to also value? So, as an example, I really want to get a custom made axe. Like, I want to get it hand forged by a blacksmith, right? I want it to my own specifications. And I want to leave that to my kids. And I hope that they value it as much as I do.
Okay. I don't really have anything like that. Like I said,
Not the house.
I mean, yeah, I'll leave them the house and everything. But that's just like, to help them more on life. Once I die, I could care less what they do with it.
Mm.
So, if I pass away and they end up selling everything, who cares? I'm dead. I'm gone to whatever's next.
I think I would care.
You would care?
Yeah. I worked hard for that. I spent my life on that, on these things. And then for like, okay, let's say I do end up building my dream house, right? And then when I die, my kids are just like, fuck dad, and sell everything. I would like, if there's an afterlife and I am aware that my kids did that, as soon as they died and I saw them, I'd beat their ass. I'd be like, how could you? How could, I worked so hard for that.
Yeah, I get that. This is another little tricky one. I don't know. I'm gonna go with my answer I had before, just because in the end, I don't think it really matters. Because, like I said, once I'm dead, they'll more than likely, depending on how everything is, the economy and everything, and if they can buy houses and whatnot, I think they'll probably end up just selling everything. And Does that hurt me a little? Yes and no. I mean, yeah, like, you work for everything you have, but I don't like to put,
Heirlooms. That's the word. Thank you, Moon Shadow.
I don't have any heirlooms. That is one thing I've thought about though, because like I thought like, I wish I had like a watch of like a great great granddad or something, but I don't have anything like that. And then I thought maybe I should start it, but I don't know. I don't have that. Whatever it is you have, where you have to collect trinkets or whatever it is, I don't have that. Like I don't know. I just
You don't have an attachment to material things.
yeah. I like my car. I could it'd be unfortunate if I wrecked and total it, but I truly don't care. Yeah, I just don't have that attachment, I guess. So I don't know if that means I'm just broken or there's something wrong with me. But for material stuff, like yeah, it's good to have it when I need it and whatnot. But if I truly lost it, I would just
Okay,
Get-
okay. How about
get it
this? Let's make
again.
it simple.
all right. Let's make it simple.
What about a picture?
All right, a picture.
Do you have any pictures of your parents, grandparents?
I got a few, but I don't know if this is like a bad thing, but once they passed away, I tend to just go about my life. So like, there are some days where, I'll be like, oh man, I wish this person was here, to meet, my kid or to see this or see that. But then it just goes straight out of my head, and then I just deal with my, real life problems and go on with my life. So I'm sure if my parents passed away, I would be more, sympathetic and value pictures more. But until that happens, I really, I really don't have a value for pictures, I guess. So I don't know what that says about me. I'm still trying to figure out, I guess, who I am. So
Like, I would hope, I guess, out of all my collectibles, I would hope that my kids are into the same thing that I am. And I hope that they would value my collectibles. If they don't, I'm not going to be hurt about it. But I would be hurt if they didn't have a single picture of me and their mother. I would care about that.
all right, to answer Moonshadow's YouTube question, if you walk into your home, how many pictures do you have on your wall of your family? So right now, I'm currently sanding all my walls to paint my entire house. So there are 6 or 7 pictures on my wall. The rest are all put up, and I have a whole, you can't see it, but I have a whole box of picture frames in my garage. And that will probably be there until I get done sanding all my walls and paint them. So, yeah, there you go.
All right, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, we've been going for a while. So, yeah, guys, if you need any port therapy or, you got to confess to whatever, as long as it's not criminal, or you want our opinion about anything, could be about any subject, I don't really care. I'll give you my opinion about it.
Apparently, we like politics, so bring it on.
I'm not going to try to delve into politics as much. It's just like, there are some new things popping up here and there.
I think it's just one of those things that gets the most attention is politics, and so it's in the news a lot.
Well, the next, oh man, well, wait a minute. We got Trump's inauguration on, I think, Sunday. We'll have to see what happens. But the next podcast, I'm gonna try to make it more like sciencey.
Science.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put some effort into it and try to find some stuff about physics and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah. Hopefully you're having a good night. If you're not, hopefully tomorrow's better for you. But yeah, that's about it.
Peace.
Later, guys. And we are